Good day everyone, my name is Joshua S. Umali from BSc 1-10. My report is about conservatism and liberalism theory. First of all, I have a question. What comes to your mind when you hear the word conservatism and liberalism? I think some of you already know the definition of conservatism and liberalism. Now I am here to further expand your knowledge about conservatism and liberalism theory. In this topic, I will discuss who is the father of conservatism and liberalism theory, and I will also discuss what is their meaning, importance, and examples. Let's start. What is conservatism and liberalism theory? Let's first look at the difference between conservatism and liberalism. Conservatism is a position to rapid changes and support keeping in tradition in society. Conservatism is the holding of political views that favor free enterprise, private ownership, and socially conservative ideas. Liberalism is a belief in gradual social progress by changing laws rather than by revolution. Liberalism is the belief that people should have a lot of political and individual freedom. Another definition of conservatism is commitment to traditional values and ideas with opposition to change or innovation. The holding of political views that favor free enterprise, private ownership, and socially traditional ideas. Another meaning of liberalism is willingness to respect or accept behavior or opinions different from one's own, openness to new ideas. A political and social philosophy that promotes individual rights, civil liberties, democracy, and free enterprise. Now, let's focus on conservatism. Do you have any idea who is the father of conservatism? The father of conservatism is Edmund Burke. Edmund Burke was an Irish-born British statesman, economist, and philosopher. Born in Dublin, Burke served as a member of Parliament between 1766 and 1794 in the House of Commons of Great Britain with the Whig Party. Now, conservatism. Conservatism aims at the preservation of things as they are, and thus they are not for any kind of change when it comes to the functioning of things. Conservatism is looked upon as an attitude. It was not looked upon as a philosophy. It was regarded as a constant force that helped in the development of the society. It says that conservatism is considered an attitude, not as a philosophy. It is also considered to be a force that contributes to the development of the society. Conservatism must also be distinguished from the reactionary outlook, which favors the restoration of the previous and usually outmoded political or social order. Next, conservatism is looked upon as an ideology by some of the thinkers of the past. Conservatism nowadays expect the government to the function of small-scale institution, allowing more of individual responsibility for everyone. Rather than expecting the government to solve every problem, conservatism believes that every individual should take more responsibility in solving problems. It believes that the individual is the only one who can solve the problems, and they are the one responsible for it, not the government. the government's responsibility is to servant the master of existing of ways of life, and politicians must therefore resist the temptation to transform society and politics. Here are some examples of traditional views of conservatism. For example, conservatism believes that abortion is not acceptable. It upholds the traditional value that a baby conceived is equal to an already functioning and living human being. Another example of conservatism does not agree with euthanasia. Conservatism refuses to believe that letting a terminally ill person commit suicide is ethical. When it comes to death penalty, people who hold conservative ideas believe that is the rightful punishment for the crime of killing another person. This is going with the traditional belief that the punishment should fit the crime. Next is conservatism. Conservative ideologies assume that the ideal society is one in which authority is unquestioned. The hierarchy of wisdom and virtue is accepted by all as a base on recognizing natural inequalities. Because human nature is basically egoistic, people need discipline, instruction for those with the requisite capacity, restraint for those lacking the capacity to understand. Conservatives thus favor institutes and practices that have evolved gradually and are manifestation of continuity and stability. Now, let's talk about liberalism. Similar to conservatism, liberalism also has a father. Are you familiar with the name of John Locke? If not, I will introduce him to you. John Locke is the father of liberalism. John Locke was an English philosopher and physician widely regarded as one of the most influential of Enlightenment thinkers and commonly known as the father of liberalism. John Locke was an English philosopher and political theorist who was born in 1632 in Rington, Somerset, England, and died in 704 in High-Laber, Essex. He is recognized as the founder of British empiricism and author of the first systematic exposition and defense of political liberalism. Liberalism believes in liberty and equality. It believes that there should be minimum or no government intervention in a political institution or religion, as these are supposed to be areas where anyone can be involved freely. Also, liberalism expects that government to ensure that people have their equal rights. It is very important to a country or society to have equal rights and freedoms among people or individuals. It is important to know that two kinds of liberalism became known worldwide. Classical liberalism became known widely in the 18th century, whereas social liberalism became hugely popular in 20th century. On the other hand, liberal philosophy was used in American Revolution and the French Revolution. It only means that liberalism was looked up as a philosophy. The two types of liberalism is classical liberalism and social liberalism. Classical liberalism is a political ideology, a branch of liberalism which emphasizes liberty and advocates civil liberties, political freedom with representative democracy under the rule of law, and economic freedom. Social liberalism is political ideology, a branch of liberalism which emphasizes equality and advocates social justice and a strong welfare-oriented and interventionist scale. Here are some examples for liberalism. Liberalism believes that abortion is acceptable. It upholds that a woman has the right to do what she decides with her body, and fetus is not a living human being. Also, liberalism agrees with euthanasia. Liberalism believes that even a terminally ill person has a right to die with dignity if he or she wants to. See, this is liberty and freedom in doing what one wants. When it comes to death penalty, people who hold liberalistic ideas believe that the death penalty is not rightful punishment for the crime of killing another person. Liberalism believes that each death penalty has a chance of killing an innocent person. Next. Liberalism assumes that the ideal society is one in which there is equality of opportunity and a general consensus to accept difference in reward as the outcomes of fair competition. So this is my references for my report, and this is my quotation. And if you have any question, just ask me. So that's all, and thanks for listening, and I hope you learned. Thank you.